Hello everyone, my name is Kobe Hunter, and today I'm going to tell you the story of how Palm Pilot went from being synonymous with cutting-edge technology to becoming a mostly defunct brand that sells wireless headphones and a phone that really isn't a phone. Don't worry, I'll explain what that means when we get to that part of the video. So without wasting any more time, let's jump into the video. Before smartphones were a thing, people bought what were called PDAs, or personal digital assistants. The idea was that you could take notes, set appointments in your calendar, write down someone's contact information, play a game, or even read documents on the go. PDAs couldn't connect you to the internet, but they could update documents, back up documents, or transfer files via a serial port. Since the days of touchscreens were still a ways off, all PDAs used styluses to interact with the operating system. These were pretty useful little computers that allowed people to have a lot more information with them without having to lug around a PC or a chunky laptop. PDAs in general were selling okay until Palm released the Palm Pilot in 1996, and they revolutionized the segment. These things sold like crazy. According to the University of Michigan, Palm sold over 500,000 units in the first 7 months and gained a market share of 70%. Palm hit the sweet spot between the right features and the right pricing. Here's Palm's founder talking about what made the Palm Pilot so attractive.
So what made the Palm Pilot successful? There's several factors. One was built-in synchronization, which is spoken with the cradle. Push one button, it synchronizes. The second thing was the size. It had to fit in a shirt pocket. It had to be very small. Boom, boom. That was my test. People said, does it fit in Jeff's shirt pocket? Third thing was it had to be low cost, $299. Very difficult to meet that price, but we did. And then the fourth thing was it had to be fast, faster than paper. It wasn't measured by megahertz or CPU cycles. It was basically, I had to be able to use this thing quicker than I could have paper organized right. And that's what led to these buttons. And finally, we had to have some text input. And a lot of people think incorrectly this is all about graffiti, the text input method. It wasn't. That we just had to have a text input method. We also built some prototypes like this to explore the idea of keyboard. So it wasn't like we were wedded to having to use graffiti, but that's what we did. But it was the factors of size, synchronization, cost, and instantaneous performance, which really spoke and resonated with people.
So the Palm Pilot didn't attempt to solve every problem for every person. Rather than trying to replace the desktop computer like other companies were, Palm made a device that would act as an extension of the computer. Although the Palm Pilot didn't have as many features as some other PDAs, it got the important things right. It had a sub $400 price point, it had exceptional handwriting recognition, and it had really good reliability. These all made it a smashing success. Over the next couple of years, Palm iterated on its success and came up with several more models like the Palm 3 and the Palm 5. In March of 2000, Palm went public at $34 a share, and by the end of the first day of trading, the stock was worth $95 a share. This gave it a $53 billion valuation. For perspective, that was more than General Motors and McDonald's at the time. Less than a year later, the dot-com bubble burst and Palm was hit especially hard. Their stocks tumbled about 93% down to a price of $6.50 per share. Imagine if you had $1 million of Palm stock at the time. That $1 million would have evaporated into $70,000 in less than a year. That would have really sucked. Even if those investors would have just held on hoping the price would go up, they would never have recouped their losses. In 2007, a private equity firm called Elevation Partners bought 25% of the company at a $1.3 billion valuation. That's still only 2% of the valuation on that first day of trading. And in 2010, HP bought the whole company for $1.2 billion, meaning that none of the investors got anywhere close to the amount of money they put in. But let's be clear, the dot-com bubble was not the stroke that killed Palm. Many companies survived the crash and are still major household names today. Companies like Cisco Systems and Amazon lost 80% and 70% respectively, and they are both still around today. So why did the leader in PDAs not become a household smartphone name like Apple or Samsung are today? Well, they kinda did at first. Palm continued to have solid sales through the early 2000s when they introduced a smartphone-ish phone called the Treo. They essentially fused the Palm Pilot with the phone, and it sold pretty dang well. At that point, there were pretty much 3 major names in smartphones: Palm, Research in Motion, aka the creators of BlackBerry, and Nokia. By the way, if you'd like me to make a video on any of those other brands, let me know in the comments below. But by the end of the 2000s, Treo sales hadn't grown very much from 2005, whereas BlackBerry had grown a ton and Apple had come on the scene with the iPhone. In 2007, Palm sold 690,000 units, whereas BlackBerry sold 3.2 million and Apple came in swinging with 1 million units of the iPhone. So if we know it wasn't the dot-com bubble that broke Palm, then what was it? Well, before I go into the factors that led to Palm's demise, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a like. It really helps out the channel and tells the YouTube algorithm that more people should see it. And if you want more information about business, finance, and entrepreneurship, be sure to subscribe. I make 2 videos a week and I'm really trying to make the best content possible. Also, if you want, go down to the comments and tell me what you think you would have done to fix Palm. And once you've done that, let's get into the demise of Palm. So there were a couple of major factors. First of all, they hung on to the outdated Treo body style for way too long. In 2007, they released the Centro, which was a phone with the form factor of the Treo, but was a little bit less expensive. But by this point, everyone had seen the iPhone and its futuristic appearance, and the Centro looked outdated by comparison. The second problem was that Palm didn't come out with an iPhone competitor until late 2009. It was called the Palm Pre when it did come out, and this was Palm's last shot at surviving, but the phone did not do well. Not only was it not as good of a phone as the iPhone, but Palm made the disastrous decision to make the Palm Pre exclusive to Sprint. At the time, Sprint only had 10% of the market, so Palm was limiting their phone to the small portion of the market that used Sprint, thus almost guaranteeing low sales. On top of having to use Sprint, the Palm Pre was supposed to be a premium phone, but it just wasn't as good of a phone as the iPhone or other competitors in the market. The Palm Pre's keyboard, for example, had some major quality issues. Here you'll see a video of someone using the sharp edge of the keyboard to cut cheese. You shouldn't be able to do that with a phone. On top of this, they didn't allow app developers access to make apps until several months after the phone's release, and they wouldn't even let developers charge for the apps until several months after that. This meant that there were fewer apps available on the App Store, thus making the phone even less appealing. Okay, so you're saying their product offering kind of stunk, but they had good marketing, right? Yeah, no. They had some really cringy ads. I watched some of these and I was seriously left wondering what the marketing department was thinking. If you want to see one of these super cringy ads, I'll put a link to it in the description right below the like button. But in spite of their product's shortcomings, leadership was still really confident that the Palm Pre would succeed. One of their lead investors, Roger McNamee, said, quote, "You know the beautiful thing? June 29, 2009 is the 2-year anniversary of the first shipment of the iPhone. Not one of those people will still be using an iPhone a month later. Think about it. If you bought the first iPhone, you bought it because you wanted the coolest product on the market. Your 2-year contract has just expired. Look around. Tell me what they're going to buy." End quote. Roger seemed to think they would buy the Pre. He was wrong. Palm's follow-up to the Pre, the Pixie, was half-baked and also flopped. One last reason many say that Palm failed is that they didn't have a competitor to the iPod Touch. Many people overlook this, but the iPod Touch was a huge part of the iPhone ecosystem's success. The iPod Touch was cheap, good for kids to play with, got distributed in different channels than phones, and didn't require a wireless contract. In the case of the iPod Touch, more kids playing on them led to more app development and a more robust app store. Perhaps if Palm would have created a Palm Pre-Touch, it would have had a stronger app store and been more successful as a whole. It's kind of ironic that Palm had a history of building smart devices without cell phone access, but decided to forgo building one at the end of its life. What do you think? Would Palm have been successful if it hadn't limited its phones to Sprint, had made a better quality phone, made a Pre-Touch, or done better marketing? Let me know if you think any of these changes would have actually made a difference in the end in the comments below. Now you may be thinking, wait, Kobe, I could have sworn I saw something about a modern Palm phone. And you'd be right. In 2014, TCL bought the Palm name from HP, and they've recently launched a phone and a pair of truly wireless earphones. This phone isn't a true competitor to any flagship smartphone though. Instead, it's kind of like a cellular Apple Watch without the watch band part, and with a bit more functionality. The idea is that you can leave your bigger, more expensive phone at home and bring this smaller phone with you on hikes, to the club, to the beach, or to other activities. This way, you still have access to everything you would want in a phone, but it takes up less space, and if you lose it or it gets stolen, it's not as big of a deal. The Palm phone retails for $229 and has a 3.3-inch display with a decent processor and a lower-end camera. What do you guys think of the Palm phone? As for me, I really don't think it'll be a successful product. I feel like its main product offering of being connected without having to bring your phone with you could largely be fulfilled with a cellular smartwatch. It is cool though to see a different quirky product, and it'll be interesting to see if Palm can come up with something that could actually affect or revolutionize the smartphone space. But what are the lessons we should pull from this? From a business leadership perspective, the important lesson to learn from Palm Pilot is that no company is too big to fail, and if a company does not continue to adapt and improve, someone else will come along and create a product that puts them out of business. And from a personal perspective, you should never, never, never invest too much money into one single company. Even big companies can fail, so we all need to remember to diversify our investments so that if any one company fails, we won't be screwed. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to learn about another colossal business mistake, click the button about American Airlines on the screen now. Remember, you're awesome, and I'll see you next time.